Hey, I told you we'd be back. Welcome to another episode of YMBA's Homebrew Hangout, a show so good because we just make shit up as we go along. Whether it's a subclass, a mechanic, a monster, or whatever pops into our naughty little noggins, this is the place where we can explore all kinds of new stuff that you can add to your games. And I gotta say, you guys came out in full force on the last episode, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. So this time I hope you share the love even more as we show off a subclass brought to us from the YMBA Discord server. Authored by our very own Faye Lynn, thanks for submitting, and y'all go tell them they rock. This subclass is inspired by characters that harness that mighty draconic power. And while dragon magic is ancient, volatile, and only slightly reminiscent of American Dragon Jake Long, we've made the dragon's might our own through a divine oath. And that's why I am so excited to introduce to you, wait for it, drumroll, obviously, the Oath of the Dragonkind Paladin. The Oath of Dragonkind is a pally who takes their dragon obsession to a whole new level, becoming spiritually linked in soul, mind, and body to the big flappy boys themselves. That's also reflected in your tenets, as your aspiration as a Dragonkind Paladin is to be a legend, garnering the fear and respect from others, and to hoard and protect what is yours, whether that's a fat stack of gold or your closest companions. But probably a fat stack of gold. But this goes further than just fanboying over Parthenax or having a crush on Smough. Our oath to do cool dragon stuff has blessed us with the Draconic Smite. Taking this subclass to 3rd level allows you to replace your Divine Smite with the Draconic Smite instead, allowing you to do 2d8 of elemental damage correlating to whatever dragon you aspire to be like. Meaning if you developed an admiration for a particular big red, you'd get access to fire damage. But if you made your oath to the bad bitch herself Tiamat, you'd have access to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison, which you could swap out on alternating. You do, however, lose the extra D8 against fiends and undead, but this lets you dig deep into that draconic flavor to lay that nasty smackdown on any moron that said caves filled with treasure were overrated. But you wouldn't be a paladin if we couldn't channel divinity, so, you know, we had to do it to him. Our first option is the Frightful Presence, to frighten all enemies that can see or hear you and fail a wisdom saving throw within 30 feet for a minute, and that creature cannot make new saves until they get at least 30 feet away from you. But I dig the Wrath of the Dragon. This allows you to add your charisma modifier to the damage dealt for all attacks that land within your 30-foot aura, basically letting you add rage damage without multiclassing into Barbarian. This also applies to all allies that make attacks within the aura, even if the enemy is outside it. So if you're facing down something real nasty, your halfling archer buddy can crouch behind you while you tank and still get that extra damage. You also get plenty of great flavorful Dragon Oath spells like Chromatic Orb and Absorb Elements at 3rd level to inflict or absorb elemental damage, Nethair's Mischief at 5th level for a range of options randomly rolled, like charming people with the smell of apple pie or covering them in molasses like a Looney Tunes character, as well as Dragon's Breath to set that molasses on fire. 9th level gets us Counterspell to shrug off wizards, the dragon's natural enemy according to every piece of fantasy art from the 80s, and which is an incredible suite of buffs, but if I talk about it anymore, this video will be 30 minutes long. 13th level gets us Fire Shield. Hell yes, an incredible spell for melee fighters, making a shield that emits fire or protects against fire and inflicts damage to people that hit you, as well as Elemental Bane to knock off resistances to certain elemental damage types, letting you follow up with a nasty Draconic Smite. And if we finally make it to 17th level, our Dragonkind Pally locks it down with Steel Wind Strike. Admittedly the weebiest move in 5e, letting you do that thing where you teleport behind your opponent and somehow make a melee spell attack against up to 5 creatures, each of them taking 6d10 force damage on a hit. Holy shit. But of course, we gotta finish it off with Summon Draconic Spirit.
Behold the incredible power of my Blue Eyes White Dragon!
This Draconic Spirit has great hit points and a 60-foot flying speed, but really just lets you perfectly live out your life as the protagonist of your favorite Dragon Rider series. 7th level gets us Aura of Dragonhide, to accompany our other Paladin auras, letting you add half your charisma modifier rounded up to the AC of any creature within 10 feet of you, so you can protect those squishy casters under your wing. Get it? So anyway, and this aura increases to 30 feet at level 18. But level 11 makes short work of common enemy types by giving you a permanent extra d8 of your chosen elemental damage with improved Draconic Smite. So lighting bad guys on fire is as simple as a swing of your oversized sword. And level 15 gets us the Soul of the Worm, so your body reflects what your heart always knew. you were meant to be a dragon, baby. You immediately gain immunity to the charm condition so you can never be dominated by another monster, and your aging slows dramatically to stay in tune with whatever dragon you chose to embody. If this is a living dragon, your aging matches theirs, even if they were to perish, and if you swore your oath to a draconic deity like Big Boy Bahamut himself, you just stop aging entirely. So, just pick your fights well and stay loyal to your oath, and you, my friend, just got a one-way ticket to immortality, and you didn't even have to put your soul in a pocket watch, like a stupid lich. But our capstone is of course 20th level, where our Dragonkind Paladin becomes the scaled champion. As a bonus action, your form changes into that of a humanoid ancient dragon, and you gain plenty of benefits like the Dragon's Wings for a flying speed equal to your walking speed, or if you already had wings, an increased flying speed by 5 times your charisma modifier, as well as the Dragon's Curse to inflict disadvantage on the saving throws for all your paladin spells and abilities. But how can we call ourselves real dragons without the things all dragons love?
Money!
No, wait. Melting shit with fire hotter than the surface of the sun. That's right, your last ability, the Dragons Bellow, lets you unload a huge torrent of 12d6 elemental damage in a 45-foot cone that corresponds with any damage type an ancient dragon can use, including, of course, acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison, but also necrotic, radiant, thunder, force, and psychic. And like real dragons, you must roll a 5 or 6 on a d6 at the start of each of your turns to do this attack again. Whew! That's the Oath of Dragonkind. I love how this subclass leans into what's fun about dragons and dragon lore, while also giving you, the player, plenty to work with to craft your own unique character with it. I can't tell you how many times I've watched a show or movie where a character does some dope dragon shit, and I wondered why I wasn't able to pull that off in my favorite TTRPG, but now we all can. The Oath of Dragonkind is also remarkably diverse, as a Dragonkind Paladin to a silver dragon and a DP to a red dragon are going to be pretty different all around in both motivation and skills. So work with your DM to see what makes sense lore-wise in your game, and I think you'll have a ton of fun fleshing out how your character takes that oath for themselves. But more than that, I just have such a soft spot in my heart for martials. The ability to swing a flaming sword around and roar like Spyro just scratches that itch in my brain. But if you want even more dragony flavor, the Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer or the Drake Warden pair insanely well with this subclass, so give those a try for a double dragon dip if you get the chance. And you can do that right now! That's right, this subclass in all its glory has been lovingly crafted in the YMBA Artisan Subclass Factory just for you. So check out the link right below this video in the description and give the Oath of Dragonkind Paladin a try in your next campaign. And report back, tell me how much you loved it, tell me if you got to level 20 and conquered the world like a real dragon, and if you want to star in an episode of Homebrew Hangout, check out the Discord server. I'm there constantly and would love to see what you goofy kids are coming up with. But in the meantime, a huge thanks to Phelan for letting me cover their subclass. They truly did an amazing job. And an extra special thanks to all of you for watching and making this show possible. We just keep growing and growing all the time, but even if this all went away tomorrow, I'm super happy I got a chance to do all this cool stuff with all you cool people. If you want to join the Patreon like these cats on screen, you can always do that at the link in the description or at the end of the video. But until next time, folks, thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you very soon.